Authors Taehyung took Van to her room. Taehyung softly, don't think too much now. Just sleep tomorrow, you feel better. Authors Van wanted to argue, but she was too tired. She nodded and lay down. Taehyung gave her a last calm look and closed the door slowly, Van eyes shut. Authors next morning. Van walked into the dining room. She was nervous but tired to look normal. Nancy sat at the table with a bright smile. Taehyung was on his phone. Jungkook sat quietly, just watching. Nancy smiling. Good morning, Van. Taehyung smiling. Morning. Authors Van sat down slowly. Jungkook didn't speak. His eyes just followed her, steady, deep, and little scary. Van softly, good morning, authors. Nancy brought juice for her. Nancy teasing. You slept so well. Did not you even wake up when the storm came last night? Authors Van forced a small smile. She looked at Jungkook by mistake. His eyes were still on her. Not angry, not soft, just fixed on her. Van thoughts. Why does he stare like that? Should I feel scared or safe? Authors Taehyung leaned closer and whispered, Taehyung teasing. Ignore him, that's just Jungkook, too serious all the time. Author's Van laughed a little, but inside her chest was tight. She knew it was not just a stare, there was a something more, and maybe today she would find out. Nancy looked at Van and smiled. Nancy, your mood looks off. Let's go shopping today. It will cheer you up. Van hesitated. She didn't want to go first. Van, I'm not sure. I'm still tired. Nancy pulled her gently. Nancy, come on, please, just for a few hours. Authors Van finally agreed. She didn't want to argue, so she said yes. Taehyung saw them getting ready. He gave Van a small sign with his hand, a calm, reassuring look. Taehyung softly, don't worry, we will stay close. Authors, they all left for the mall. Taehyung and Nancy walked with Van, laughing and looking at clothes. Jungkook stayed a little far away, watching quietly. Taehyung kept an eye on Jungkook while also staying near Van. Both of them watched to make sure Van was safe. At the mall, they brought a few things. Van tried to smile. For a while, she felt normal, warm, safe with Nancy and Taehyung. Authors. After shopping, they went to metro station. It was busy and noisy. Lots of people were waiting to board. Jungkook and Taehyung stayed near the entrance while Nancy Van moved towards the train. The platform grew crowded. Suddenly, a big push of people rushed out of the train, and many others tried to get in. The crowd moved like a wall. Authors Nancy hand slipped from Vian's fingers in the sudden crush. Vian lost her grip and the flow of people pulled her away. Vian shouting, Nancy, authors, but the noise swallowed her voice. She turned trying to find Nancy, but too many bodies pressed around her. Taehyung and Jungkook shouted, but their voice was lost too. Authors. In the middle of the crowd, someone stepped close to Vian. She felt a sharp setting at the back of her neck. Then darkness. Her legs went weak. She tried to shout, but the sound broke into nothing. Hands grabbed her under the arms and lifted her up. Everything blurred. The lights, the faces, the rush of movement. Authors. Before she could understand what was happening, she felt herself being carried away through the crowded, away from the platform, away from the people she trusted. One last clear thought as she lost consciousness was Taehyung's face, a mask of fear shouting her name, and Jungkook running towards the gap the crowd had open. Authors. Then everything went black. The crowd finally started to thin. Jungkook and Taehyung rushed towards Nancy, both looking panicked. Taehyung breathing hard. Nancy, where's Vian? Nancy shaking, pointing back. I don't know. We were holding hands, but in the rush her hand slipped. She must be here somewhere. She has to be. Authors. Jungkook jaw tightened, his eyes burned as he looked around, searched every face on the platform. Jungkook angrily, how could you lose her? You were supposed to stay with her. Authors. Nancy flinched at his harsh tone, her eyes filled with tears. Nancy crying, I tried. I swear I didn't let go on purpose. The crowd was too much. I couldn't. Authors. Taehyung quickly stepped in. He pulled Nancy into a comforting hug, rubbing her back gently. Taehyung softly, Shh, don't cry. It's not your fault. The crowd was insane. Anyone could have been separated. Jungkook clenched his fist, scanning every corner of the platform. His chest rose and fell heavily as anger mixed with fear. He wanted to keep shouting, but Taehyung's calm words held him back. Taehyung to Jungkook firmly, she's not here. We need to move fast. Whoever took her, they won't get far. Authors. Jungkook's eyes snapped toward him, dark and determined. Jungkook quietly in Taehyung's arm, while the two men searched the platform desperately, but Van was gone. Authors. Jungkook and Taehyung ran to the station control room. Both of them demanded the CCTV footage from the platform. The guards quickly played back the video. On the screen they saw it clearly. Vian in the middle of the crowd trying to hold Nancy's hand. Then a man in a black hoodie moved close behind her. Authors. He pressed something to her neck and Vian collapsed within seconds. No more men appeared from the side and lifted her like she was nothing. They carried her away into the chaos. Nancy gasped, covering her mouth with her hands. As tears spilled down her cheeks, Nancy crying, oh my God, they took her. They really took her. Author's Taehyung's eyes froze on the screen. His usual calmness slipped off for a moment. Jungkook's face slammed against the desk, his knuckle turning white. For a long second, neither of them spoke. Then slowly they turned their heads towards each other. Authors. Their eyes met, filled with anger, fear, and something unspoken. Together in a low voice, not again. Authors. Nancy looked between them, confused and shaking. Nancy crying harder. What do you mean not again? That's what's happening. Why would anyone take Vian? Authors. But neither Jungkook or Taehyung answered her. Their faces were dark, serious, as if this was not the first time something like this happened. Author's one eye slowly fluttered open, her head felt heavy and her body ached. As her vision cleared, she realized she was tied tightly to a chair. The room was dark, only the dim light bulb hanging above her. Swinging slightly, her heart raced, fear gripped her chest, while screaming, "Who is there? Open this, let me go. Who are you?" Author, suddenly the heavy iron door cracked open. The sound of footsteps echoed in the silent room. A tall man, dressed fully in a black, entered his presence, cold and intimidating. Behind him, 4 bodyguards followed them, their eyes sharp, their faces blank. The man slowly pulled a chair and sat directly in front of Ryan, his lips curling into a chilling smile. It was Suga, the Mafia boss. Suga, calm, deep voice. "Hello, Ryan, finally we meet." Author's wine eyes widened in anger and fear. She struggled against the ropes, her voice trembling but full of rage. "Ryan, who the hell are you? Why did you bring me here?" Author Suga leaned forward, his dark eyes looked onto hers. Sugar smirking, "You don't know me, but your father, he knows me very well." Author's Van froze, her breath catching in her throat. Van shocked, "My dad?" Author's Sugar cackled, the sound low and dangerous. Sugar, "Yes, Princess, your father, and I, we have a unfinished business." Author Suga gave me cold laugh, his eyes fixed on Van. Suga, "Yes, Princess, your dad and I, we have some old business left unfinished." Author's Van eyebrows pulled together in confusion. Her voice shook as she asked, "Van, what business? What do you mean? And why did you kidnap me?" Author Sugar leaned back in his chair, smirking. "Sugar, calm down, Van. Don't worry. Slowly everything will be clear. Until then, you will stay with us. And don't even think about being clever. If you try anything, it will cost not just for you, but your father too." Authors, within these last words, Sugar stood up. His bodyguards followed him as he walked out of the dark room. Authors, the heavy door slammed shut. Ryan screamed at the top of her lungs, tears of fear and anger rolling down her face. Ryan crying, shouting, "Let me go, open the door." I said, "Let me go," but only silence answered back. To be continued. Don't forget to share and subscribe this channel.